Hi guys, welcome to my updated highlighting and contour routine. So let's get started. So I have really thick eyebrows, so I use an Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brown in Ebony that really matches my eyebrow color very perfectly. So I line it and I use it to fill. In this look, I'm sort of going for a fuller eyebrow look. So I'm just lining and filling in very small strokes, and I'm using an Anastasia Beverly Hills eyebrow brush as well. To clean up my eyebrows, I use this Sephora concealer. It's not really expensive. I usually use the Bare Minerals concealer in the pot, but I'm running really low, so I went and bought this from Sephora. It works really well and it gives you full coverage, and I'm using a flat brush, a flat eyeshadow brush. It's also synthetic. So I'm cleaning up my brows underneath, and then I'm going to also clean them up over top, and you will see that eventually. To blend out the concealer that I put in, I'm just going to use my finger to do that, very precise and soft. You want it to really blend in. Some people like to go a shade or two lighter than their natural skin color. I don't, because I feel like it's very dramatic, and I like my brows to be clean but not overly highlighted, especially on the top. So this color is basically almost a perfect match to my skin color. Right now I am covering up my dark circles. I already did my eye makeup. I just wanted to show you guys how I color correct and highlight and contour. So right now I am using red lipstick. Red cancels out the purplish blue underneath my eyes, which is a very problem I have. So I don't know what shade that is. It's very cheap red lipstick, sort of red orange actually. What I'm using right now is the NYX Dark Circle Corrector. It is an orangey pigment. It sort of is orange and it looks like my skin tone. It's not a concealer. It pretty much primes the concealer before you put it on. So I have a synthetic brush and I'm just dabbing that underneath my eyes to cover up those dark circles before I put my concealer on. So before I put on any foundation, I'm going to put on some primer in my T-section. I have combination skin, so that's basically where I get oily, and I'm using Benefit Professional. So I'm just going to rub that in. I just got it and I really like it. It's a mini sample size that I got at Sephora, and I think it does work really well. In addition, if you use a prep spray, I didn't use a prep spray in this look, but I have with a professional and it works really well. And now I'm going to take the same Sephora concealer I used under my eyebrows, and I'm going to put that on top of the NYX Dark Circle Corrector and red lipstick. So right now I'm just trying to perfectly match my whole face so it could be the same skin tone, so that when I put my foundation on, everything just looks perfect. And I'm also using a synthetic brush to do that. So now I'm using a beauty blender to just blend everything out so that my skin is one color. So when I put my foundation on, everything looks like it's the same color. and perfect. That's the goal. Right now, I'm going for a natural glam, so I'm using my favorite foundation. It is the Urban Decay Ultra Definition Liquid Makeup, and I'm also using an Urban Decay Kabuki brush to apply it. It is fantastic for combination skin. It doesn't break you out. It's oil free. It looks natural, but still gives full coverage and also medium coverage. But to get full coverage, you have to put a little bit more on, but I color corrected, so I didn't have to put a lot on, so I'm just blending in everything so it looks good. This is a great natural makeup look for people who don't like to look, I guess you could say, cakey. When I do want a more dramatic look, I use the NARS All Day Luminous foundation, and that works well, but for this look I use the Urban Decay and it works perfectly. It's my everyday foundation. Now to everyone's favorite part, the highlight and contour. I really do like to highlight and contour. I just don't know why, but I am obsessed, so I understand why anyone's obsessed. So right now I'm using the Urban Decay concealer, liquid concealer. It literally is life. It gives you really good coverage and it blends perfectly. If you don't have that, I suggest the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer. I have used that and it's similar. And to contour, I'm using the Black Opal Concealer Stick in Beautifully Browns. So I'm just dabbing that along my cheekbones and on the top of my forehead and on the side right above my brows. And the bottom of my cheekbones on my chin, and a little bit on I don't know, under my nose, and a little bit on the side. I don't really contour my nose heavily just because I'm not too good at it and I don't really need it. So I'm blending that with a beauty blender, and I'm just letting that really seep in to my skin. And the biggest part about contouring is you want to blend and look very natural. Some people like to look dramatic, but you can always dramatize it more with powder. But when you use creams and concealer, liquid concealers, you definitely want to blend that and then dramatize with the powders, and that will happen soon. So right now I'm using a Real Techniques. I don't know what kind of brush this is, but it is flat and it is synthetic, and it's a concealer blending brush. This is really good to blend the concealer that you contour with, because it gives you very defined strokes. So I'm just blending everything on my cheekbones. You want to blend upward and back into your cheekbones and just let that really get in. You don't really want the line to be too defined because that's not natural. So feel free to blend it a little up, a little down. In this tutorial, I'm not gonna fully bake just because I don't want the look to be super dramatic, but if you do like to bake, that is a good idea. Basically, you put a translucent powder on the highlighted parts and you let it sit for 10 to 30 minutes depending on what you want. But right now I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Powder Kit, and I took the shade Banana, and I took a brush and I just put that underneath my eyes, and right now I'm reverse contouring. So right underneath the contour line on my cheekbone, I took the Banana shade and I'm defining that line more. And now I'm taking the two shades in the palette and I'm just bronzing my face up and also setting the contour line. So what's really important when you contour is to set what you contour, the cream and the liquid concealer, because you don't want it to come off and start flaking and creasing during the day or night whenever you wear it. So setting it is really important, and then once you set it, you also want to blend so it all looks really good. So one thing I do is really blend on my forehead and my cheekbones. And now I'm going to set my whole face with the MAC Studio Fix powder in C5. This is a shade, it's about my skin tone, maybe a little lighter than depending on the season. So I'm just really just blending everything so it looks seamlessly. So it doesn't really change the look of my face, but it helps it for long wear. So now it's time for blush. I just started using like peach and coral blush tones. I really like it on my skin tone. So this blush is Too Hot. It is a Sephora Collection. I really like it. There's also a similar color in Tarte blushes. I really like Tarte blushes. I just didn't want to pay as much for them, but they are really great. And one thing to mention, I do use a really big brush for my blush. I don't know if you need to, but I have really round cheeks, and I like right on my atoms, the atoms on my cheeks, to be really colorful. Now I'm just putting some eyeliner on the bottom lower lash line, and this is a Clinique eyeliner. So to highlight, I'm using Wisp by Colourpop Cosmetics. It was only like $5 or $6. I love their stuff because it's so cheap, but it's really good quality. And I'm using an Estee Lauder blush brush, and I'm also putting that on the bridge of my nose and right on top of my cheekbones, right above where I put on blush. So this really highlights, and it's like a gold champagne color. So on lips, I'm using Meet Matte Hues Long Lasting Liquid Lipstick from the BALM. I got this in my beauty bag from IPSY Cosmetics, and I thought to try it out. So it's really small, but one thing I like to say about it is it smells so good. It is like chocolate mint on your lips. It's really nice. So thank you guys for watching. I don't know who I think I am in these videos. I always get really awkward at the end. I try to be cute, but I'm not really. But please subscribe and tell me what more looks you want to see.